So let's get started. If you have a wall, great. If you don't, you can just kind of act like there's an imaginary wall there and it totally works. So with the wall being about, your heels are like 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet away from the wall. This is probably one of our favorite warm-ups. Go through squat, reach forward with the left fingertips. Use those fingertips to drive that movement. Reach overhead to the wall and squat back down. Amanda might have to use like a tree or something. But it's nice to have something, some kind of visual there to lead you reaching up and over. Kind of make sure you reach every time to that same spot. Notice you have to get the hips to go forward for the body to lean back. This shouldn't hurt. So go through 6 or 7 of these on one side and then switch arms. As far as your back and hips are concerned, it's the same thing. It's just a different arm leading that movement. So squat, forward, reach, reach overhead. When we change planes of motion, it will be pretty different. But for now, you're just getting that forward and back arch. So we're trying to articulate movement in the spine. From there, step a little away from the wall. Go into a split stance. So you have one foot out in front of the other. You're in this big split stance. So now we're trying to articulate the hips. So shift the weight forward, tuck the tailbone under. You should feel a big stretch in the front of the leg that's back, and then shift the weight back, kick out the hips, arch the back. So from the side, it looks like this. Tuck the tailbone under, shift the weight forward, shift the weight back, kick out the hips. Tuck under, move back. So there should just be stretches happening in the hips. Lower abs have to fire to get the tailbone under and round at the back. Lower back has to fire to arch the back. Don't worry about how this looks. It's not a very pretty exercise. Same thing on the other side. Do 6 or 7 of those and then just switch sides. Other leg out in front and do that same thing. Tuck the tailbone under, bend that front knee, big stretch in the front of the leg, shift the weight back, kick the hips back. So it's almost like you're sitting back into that. Shift the weight forward, tuck the tailbone under. Wish that a gust of wind come through. Kick the hips back. Does that make sense? I hope you guys can see our legs more. Am I gonna use any better? We're just trying to articulate the hips. Hips are what are driving that movement. All right, so back through those things again, 2 more times, just different planes of motion. So now the wall's to your side. Your outside arm is leading that movement. So I'm gonna squat down, reach with my left hand. If the wall's to my right side, reach up and over the head with the fingertips. So I should feel like I can lean pretty far over there. Squat, touch down, big reach over the head, reach fingertips to the wall. Go through 6 or 7 of those. That should feel just like a massive stretch in the lat, in the obliques. The back's able to move pretty far on that frontal plane. And it should feel good. This is just not a plane of motion we move through much. In fact, of all 3, it's probably the least we really use. Same thing on the other side. Just rotate around. That outside arm is guiding that movement. I know I've used this term before, but it helps to hear it again. The fingertips are your driver. That means that's what's leading the movement. The goal is to bend the spine, but it's a hard thing to think about bending the spine. It's easier to think, make the fingertips touch the ground, make the fingertips touch the wall. And then that spine gets the movement we're looking for without you really having to think about the spine. All right, from there, back to your split stance. Doesn't matter which leg is in front. You're just in this like comfortable split stance. One leg in front, one leg back. Now we're trying to move the right hip out to the right as much as possible. Move the left hip out to the left as much as possible. You can lean as much as you need to get it over there. Just imagine you have like this dot on your right hip and you're trying to push it over to the side as far as you can. Push it over to the other side as far as you can. 5 or 6 each way. So it's that same frontal plane movement, right? All of like jumping jack is your plane of motion for frontal. It's just now the hips are leading the movement instead of the fingertips. Should feel like more movement's happening. Same thing on the other side. More movement is happening in the hips. Some of these you'll feel and it will be like, wow, that's so good. It really like stretches out the lower back. There are definitely things that we do in mobility class where you might think this is ridiculous, I'm not feeling anything, and know that that's fine. Hopefully the next one you'll feel better on. If you had like 75% of these exercises feel good, then we'd be great. All right, third plane of motion is transverse twisting. So stand with your back to the wall. Let's do right arm first. Right arm reaches down and touches the wall at about calf level. Then the right arm comes up, opens up, reaches around, keep going as far around as you can and reach. So now you're getting a big shoulder rotation, big chest stretch. If you can reach that arm out there and just hold for half a second, it should feel really good. People I think rotational stretches feel good, especially on the chest. We're so used to when we're working or texting or driving, everything's hunched over. So this is just to reiterate that open chest. 6 or 7 of those. And it's fine if the heels are coming off the ground, if the hips are moving. Really the only goal here is to get the back rotating and to stretch up the chest in the meantime. When you switch sides, it'll be left fingertips reach down behind your right calf, and then that left arm reaches around. So my right arm's just hanging out, not doing anything. It's only my left arm that's leading that movement. Big open chest reach. 6 or 7 of those guys. Open up the chest. There should be a bend in the knees. It should feel good. Big rotation, soft knees, soft hips. Nice job. All right, third round, back to that split stance. So imagine you can kind of help like put your fingertips on your hips so you can know where they are in space. Imagine without moving your feet from off the ground, you're trying to just twist your hips to the right, twist your hips to the left, twist your hips to the right, twist your hips to the left. So just do 5 or 6 of those each way. Hips rotate right. What we're trying to do is really work on that hip in front. 5 or 6. I always imagine like if you had laser beams coming off of the hips, they'd shoot right and then they'd shoot left. Same thing on the other side. That big split stance. Move the hips right, move the hips left. Right there, if the right leg's in front, that left rotation is going to feel really easy. I can rotate all the way over. But that rotation to the right requires that right hip to just do a little more pull. 5 or 6 of those. We're doing a lot of hips today. We always do hips, but we're doing more hips today.
That's where all the power comes from.
Should feel good, says Shakira. All right, super wide stance for the feet. So moving on to a new little combo. Wide stance, I go hands behind the back because it looks cool. Bend the right knee, drop the chest, and then come all the way back up. So just get used to that movement. Same side again. Go through, let's do 8 of those. Bend the right knee, drop the chest. So at the bottom of that movement, my chest is like laying on the quad. My shoulders are level with the hips. Like you see those speed skaters with super parallel spines to the ground. Go through 8 on one side and then switch 8 on the other side. And it will look exactly the same. We'll keep building onto this one. This is a good one. Same thing other side. So that quad's getting some love, getting to work. And then that, if you're going to the left side, then that right groin should feel like it's getting a big stretch. And if you don't feel it, you can always take that foot wider and rotate up onto the heel. So by kind of picking up the toes, you can really overemphasize your body's ability to shift the hips back. Nice job. All right, once you're done with those 8, back to a wall or something if you have it to balance. We're gonna work on these leg swings, but we're adding a bent knee. So imagine you have this just goal of going forward. So we're just going to bend the knee, raise the leg, back down to neutral, extend. So it's like a hamstring curl. Curl, lift, back down, extend. Hamstring curl, knee driver, extend. So just hamstring curl, just knee lift, and back down. Go through 10 of those. If you feel comfortable going through them faster, go for it. This isn't necessarily one that you have to do too slow. And then from there, you're just gonna repeat that knee drive. So you're gonna keep the knee bent and you're just going quick, quick. So now the idea is to try to get that force up and control back down. So as far as the knee is concerned, There's no movement in the knee. Sure, the knee is moving through space plenty, but that joint isn't actually moving. It's just that hip socket lifting that pre-positioned knee. 10 of those quick, and then we'll turn around the same thing on the other side. Those two things. So you're starting with an extended leg, hamstring curl, knee driver, return, extend. Curl the hamstring, drive the knee forward, knees come back together, extend the leg. Go through 10 of those. Again, once you've figured out that combo, you can go through it as fast as feels comfortable. This one doesn't need to go slow. That second one is important to do half of it fast because the idea is that we're trying to get that hip flexor to just snap the knee up. So like when we're running, we're trying to get that knee to lift up. So once you're done with those 10, hold that curl and just go quick knee driver up, slow back down. Quick, slow back down. Quick. Nice job. All right, 10 of those. And then we'll go back through those two things again. So super wide stance is what we started with. We're just going to keep adding on to this one. So now rather than just going down to the knee, we're going to go over to the other knee and then come back up. So hands behind the back, go down to the right knee, drop the chest, shift over to the left side, but now reverse it. Come back to the right side and back up. So you're always going down and up from that right side. So now the hips, groin, hip abductors and adductors all have to work together to shift you over, shift you back, and return. Nice job. Every time you're coming up to that stacked spine, shoulders over the hips. Bend the right knee, push off the right leg, push off the left leg, lower back fires to come back up. So the lower back's having to work that whole time that you're just hanging out there, hinged over. 10 of those, and then we'll do the same thing to the other side. This should all feel good, just super smooth, fluid. If any of it hurts, there are ways to adjust this. Is it, Tanya?
This is the last one.
So glad somebody counts. All right, whenever you're done, you go to the other side, same thing. Left knee, over to the right, back to the left, straighten back up. Left knee, right knee, left knee, straighten out. Nice job. Kind of get into a rhythm here. Check that the feet are parallel. A lot of times the body wants to just rotate the toes out. It's important as runners to keep all of that stuff in line. The more things are pointing forward, the more that's the direction you're shifting your energy. 10 of these guys. Connect the breathing with the movement. So that's one.
3 more.
Oh, 3 more.
2 more.
All right, 1 more. All right, then we're going back to that hip articulation. So to the wall if you have it, if you don't really need it for this, but that outside leg now is gonna curl. Now we're gonna bring this leg out, knee back in, leg extension. So curl the leg, side lift, in, back down. Hamstring curl, out, in, back down. And it should feel all isolated to the hamstring for that curl, and then all isolated to that hip abductor for that side lift. So from the front, I'm just here, curl, side lift, in, back down. That makes sense? Nice job. Good. Curl, side lift, back down. 10 of those. Once you're done with those 10, just like we did on that first round, take away that extension and just hold the leg curled. So you're gonna be here, hold that leg curled, knee bend, and you're just gonna go quick, quick. Check that the shoulders are staying still, hips are staying still. So I'm not leaning over to the side to be able to get that leg up higher. I'm really just isolating that movement to that hip, and that hip abductor should feel it. Nice, and those same 2 things on the other side whenever you're ready. So hamstring curl, side lift, return, return. Curl, lift, drop, extend. Nice job. 10 of these. Again, all the efforts isolated to the hamstring for that curl and to that hip abductor for that lift. Curl, lift, in, back down. 10 of these, and then you can take away that extension and just stick to those hip lifts. So those hip lifts will just be quick, quick. Trying to focus on quick on the up, control on the down. We don't really care about going quick on the way down. Quick down just means you kind of just let everything drop. 10 of those, guys. And then we'll go through the last round, third round. Super wide stance for the legs whenever you're ready. So now we're just gonna come all the way back up. So wide stance, go down to the right knee, over to the left knee, all the way back up. Down to the right knee, over to the left knee, all the way back up. This one's probably slightly easier than that second one. Good. Right knee now, or right quad rather, is controlling that descend down. Left quad is responsible for that ascend back up. 10 of those clockwise, 10 counter. Should feel good. Your hips are going to be like there's no range of motion we did not hit today for the hips. Same thing on that other side whenever you're ready. Wide stance, soft knees. Drop the chest to the left side, over to the right, and come up from that right side. 10, we're always going down to one knee and coming up from the other side. Nice job. Flat back, like speed skaters. Nice job. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Easy to do. I feel like summer is here. It is warm now. Our garage.
You keep wearing jackets
I know.
every day.
I'm holding out that if I wear a jacket, maybe it will be cool. So far, it has not worked. All right, back to the wall. All right, same idea. Outside leg is gonna curl, then lift. So hamstring curl, lift that leg back, extend. Hamstring curl, lift that leg back, like it's like a donkey kick of sorts. So you're here, hamstring curl, lift that leg back, extend. Hamstring curl, lift, extend. 10 of those. So we're trying to just get the hamstring to fire and then hold while now the glute makes that leg raise back up. And we'll do those same 10 without the extension. So it'll just be that constant kickback. It should feel like you don't have as much range of motion maybe as you did on the other sides. You on your kicks yet? 10 of these just kicks. You're bringing the knees down together and then just kicking that leg back. Check that the spine's staying even, that hamstring should be getting tired just from holding that leg in that bent pose. And then you'll do those same 2 things on the other side. Fresh leg, curl the hamstring, kick the leg back, knees come back together, extend the leg. 10 of those. These should feel a little easier because the hamstring just gets a little reprieve between each one. Curl, kick, drop, back down. Check that you're not leaning forward when you send the leg back. We're trying to isolate that movement to that hip socket. And then just 10 of those kicks. Quick kick, control, quick kick, control. So you do want that out to be more powerful than the return back. We're trying to work on that explosiveness of like a runner's kick. Nice job. All right, from there, we're gonna do just one thing and then we're gonna move on. So no rounds of this. So with the feet together, bend the knees, chin to the chest, roll down. So fingertips are down on the ground. Walk the fingers around to the left heel and just pull, twist. Walk the fingertips around to the right heel, pull, twist. So do that twice to each side. You're gonna you can bend the knees as much as you need to, or you don't even really need to be touching the ground. Just try to rotate around and then around to the other side. All right, from here, since you're already there, go hands down to the ground and either walk the hands forward or walk the feet back, whatever feels good here. So we'll go drop the hips, chin up, and then shift the weight back to the heels, stretch at the hamstrings. Go through 5 of these, drop the hips, arch the back, chin up, eyes up, shift the weight back to the heels, stretch at the hamstrings. This should feel good and fluid. Drop the hips, arch the back, chin up, shift the weight back, heels down, hips up. Inhale down, exhale back. Nice job. From there, stay in that downward dog position once you're done with those 5 and just run out the leg. So alternate, right heel down, right heel, left heel. Do like 5 or 6 of these on each side. We're just trying to articulate that motion for the calf to stretch it out a little bit. And then take one foot out super wide up by the hands. So you have this like big step out wide. I could point this down at us. All right, now from here, you're just shifting the hips right and left. Do that 2 or 3 times each way. And then switch sides whenever you're ready. Really wide step, just shift side to side. We'll go back to that first leg again. This time go fingertips up to the ceiling, almost like you're trying to get the elbow down to the ground. Mine doesn't quite get there, but the idea is you're rotating it that way. Fingertips up to the ceiling.
That's a whole lot of hamstring flexibility.
Elbow down to the ground. I can't get it down there. 3 of those, and then switch sides. So if it's my left foot that's up, it's left arm that's up, left elbow that's pointing down towards the ground, left arm that's up, arm that's down towards the ground. Nice job. And then from here, bring the other foot up there. So you're in this like wide squat. Yep, again, walk the hands around to the left heel, pull, twist. Walk the hands around to the right heel, pull, twist. So it should feel a little different now that you have this different base. Go twice each side, all the way around. Same thing other side. And then holding low, so you can get the hips down low, arms out, and then fingertips down, bring the hips up. Go through 3 of those. Drop the hips, arms go forward. Straighten out the legs, hands go down. Hips drop, and then hang out here and alternate. Lift one heel, lift the other heel. So this is less of a calf stretch, more of that hamstring stretch. 3 on each side. Again, if the fingertips aren't touching the ground, you can just hang here. It all works. And then you're just going right down to the ground. So you can just get comfy somewhere down there. You can use this mat. All right. So you just need a little bit of space. We're going to just barely work on the hip flexor stuff because we've already done a lot of this. But sitting up, pull one knee in, one leg is out. We're going to do 10 circles one direction. So remember which direction you're going. If you're going clockwise, you're going to do counter on the other side. So you're going to kind of like mirror it. I'm going to make it really confusing for you. 10 of these. And then same thing on that other side. You're doing the direction. Well, no, opposite, because you're doing mirror image. So if for the right leg you went up, out, left leg you're going up, out. Makes sense? All right, 10 of those. And then we're gonna go feet flat, arch the back, reach one hand up and over the head, hips come back down. So we're just trying to stretch out what you were just working. Do 2 on each side, hips down, arch the back, reach. Hips down, arch the back, reach. All right, 2 of those. We're gonna keep coming back to that. Now you're doing the other direction. So you probably started with the lift, swing around. Now start with a take the leg out, up, and in. And if you do the other direction, or if you accidentally do the same direction twice, it is not a big deal. That hip flexor, I mean, I'm all about being even, but that hip flexor is still working. 10 of these. You won't run funny just because of this. 10 on the other side. Keeping the toes pointed up towards the ceiling. The knee can be soft, but it's not bending with that movement. It's more or less staying straight. 10 of those. Nice. Back to these. 2 on each side. Hips up, arch the back. Hips drop. Switch sides. Hips up, arch the back. Hips drop. We're going to go through 4 of those. So each time we're going to end with 2 of these on each side. These won't change. Nice job. All right. So now we're on this first leg we were on, but take it out to a diagonal. And now you're doing those 10 circles. 10 one direction, but you're keeping the leg out at an angle. So whereas last time I was here, now I'm here out to the side. 10, and then you'll do the same thing on that other side. Swing the leg out first, and that's your base of that circle, is now just out at an angle. We'll do those 2 stretches. You're almost done. You can see what's left. When you're done with those 10, back to those arches, up and over, 3rd round of 4, 2 on each side. It's not a high number, but we'll end up having done 8 total on each side. Should just feel good. It kind of gives you like your hips like a little reset. All right, same thing, but now try to go the other direction. So take the leg out to the side and then do the reverse direction of whatever you did. If you don't remember, just do whatever feels right. Or maybe whatever feels wrong, because you probably did whatever feels right first. 10, and switch. That leg's just out at an angle. Last time we're doing these. We'll do that stretch next, and then you're out of here at 6 o'clock as promised. All right, back to those reaches whenever you're ready. Last time, 2 on each side. These are probably 2 of my favorite stretches. The squat, reaching to the walls, and then these. Just feels like it does so much stuff. All right, from here, let's do one last thing. Just drop the knees, drop the knees. Just add this little wiggle to the knees. Knee drop, knee drop. I'm the queen of one more thing. One more thing. But we have 30 more seconds. All right, that's it. We're done. Lots of hips. It should feel good. Hopefully you guys did yesterday's strength workout. I showed you how to do it without weights. Jason had to show you with weights. If you guys have weights, actually we should, well, maybe we'll get like, we'll do like a little survey and see what weights people have. It would be awesome if you could at least get like 1 15-pound dumbbell or 2 10-pound weights, something where we can make sure you guys are adding weight to the joints just to add a little bit more power to that strength. But perfect job with mobility. It's so good to see you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.